Himba tribe are very famous, by the way, right, in Namibia.
And the ones who jump up?
No, that's Maasai. Right. You can't even stay there, yeah? They're like 5 pounds a night or something, and it's like you want to have it fan, there's mosquitoes. Adnan cut it with the Zabiha method. We said,
Adnan did
well, yeah, why do we do? And it was the first time Adnan did it. This is like almost like, you know, Indiana Jones and these safari trips. But it's needed. Adnan gives his talk, Ashraf gives his talk, and bro, they connect instantly. It's like the fitra opens up. Just before Ramadan we went to Namibia, right? And this is actually, a lot of people will find this very shocking. So we went to a tribe that was naked basically, right? But you know, we thought about this a lot, and you know, we discussed it and stuff, and we thought to ourselves that, you know what, who's going to give them dawah? And at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, people used to do tawaf without clothes around the Kaaba, yeah? And the Prophet ﷺ, he would give dawah, the people would give dawah. Did they stop or did they continue, yeah? So we went to this country, Namibia, and it was a crazy mission once again, yeah? It was me, Adnan, Salahuddin. We flew to Germany first, okay? So from London to Germany. You might think, why are you going to Germany? Because Germany had colonized Namibia, right? A lot of them speak German. There's many German or people with German origin who live there as well. So we flew to Germany. Then from Germany we flew to Windhoek, which is the main city. And we landed there for the mission, right? And so we had decided to meet the Himba tribe, right? And Himba tribe are very famous, by the way, right, in Namibia.
And the ones who jump up?
No, that's Maasai. Right. And guys, do not search the Himba tribe, please. Trust me, you don't want to look at it because they don't wear clothes, right? So anyways, we went to Windhoek, and then we stayed there for like a day or something.
So wait a second. They don't, like, it's not that, just like they're revealing clothes.
So basically the women don't wear any clothes on top, and the men don't wear any clothes on top either. They just wear like a little skirt basically, yeah?
Right.
And
that's normal.
That's normal, yeah. This is the tribe, right? And this is how they live in very secluded areas, and they have a very strong culture. So we go there, we land in Windhoek. Ashraf comes now from South Africa. He's an outreach specialist there. Amazing brother, right? Amazing da'i. This guy, mashallah, he literally, mashallah, tabarakallah, may Allah increase him and bless him. He will get like shahadas, like every restaurant that he'll go to, he'll speak to the waiters, and he'll get shahadas, mashallah. He's very precise with his dawah. So he was there with us as well, and we were in Windhoek. And now we had to go to this place, to the Himba tribe. Now to get to them, we had to go from the main city, Windhoek, to Ondangwa, yeah, Ondangwa. That's another city. So we caught an internal flight. It's only like 45 minutes, and we landed there. Now once we landed there, it's like, this is like almost like, you know, Indiana Jones and these safari trips. But it's needed. It's like you cannot do it without that. And I'll tell you why we did it without that, yeah, in another country. So you need 4x4s, you need SUVs, because you're literally going up and down, yeah? Like you literally see your car going like this and then coming up, and you have to get someone out and tell them, is the wheel okay? So we basically got our cars, and we had like 3 different cars, and we loaded it all up. All of the brothers got in, we were ready to go and give dawah. Then after that we had to drive, I believe, 3 or 4 hours. So we flew first, then we had to drive 3 or 4 hours, and then we get to this place. Now we're getting close to the Himba tribe, right? And they're like, okay, we're getting really close now, let's go. And now all the roads start going up and down, yeah? You're literally in these terrains, the wheels are skidding.
What's around the geography around? What is it like?
Bro, it's like Namibia is one of the most unpopulated countries on the planet.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so big, and it's only got 2 million population. Yeah, it was crazy, and it was empty, barren. Yeah, but when we get close to the Himba, it's really getting really surreal now, because it's like flat lands and there's no road, so we're going up and down. Some guys got cars getting stuck, all the dust is flying. It's
and there's
crazy.
Nobody around.
Yeah, there's at times that I can't see in front of me the car because of the dust coming out of the other car. Yeah. And then the guy says that, you know, we're getting close, we're almost there, yeah? And then in the distance, you see this tribe under a tree. SubhanAllah, it's absolutely incredible. Right now, the fact that we're here, the car that we've hired, the t-shirts that we've printed, the dawah that we're going to give, everything, the donors have funded this with their hard-earned money. So inshallah, when people accept Islam, or even if people don't accept Islam, imagine your sadaqah is being used to spread the message of Islam, like the Prophet spread it all around the world. And bro, really, it was so surreal. It really felt like, oh my god, this is like the movies basically. And then basically the guide, he's a non-Muslim, and he starts to tell us about the Himba, and he says that, you know, they worship the smoke god, they worship spirits, they worship their ancestors. They use intestines of cows and stuff to basically predict the future and know what's good for them. And before we went to them, we obviously had our shura and we were discussing, okay, how are we going to do this tomorrow? How are we going to approach them? And there was a sister, a revert from the Himba, so she called us and we had like a meeting.
She converted.
She converted. She's from the Himba, and she said, we asked her, you know, should we ask them for the shahada after we give them dawah, because we have to be very careful, right? She's like, no, absolutely not. They're very strong. Their culture is very strong. And we're like, oh my god, what is going on? Like, don't even ask for the shahada. So we're very thingy, but we're discussing. We're like, okay, look, we'll give them dawah. Let's see, inshallah, Allah opens their hearts. But we're like, prepare that. The sister said, look, they're very strong culture. Yeah, they love their culture. They don't even want to use electricity. The government offers them free electricity. They don't want to use it because they want to stick to their culture and their ways. Okay. So then we arrive to this area, and then we go, and obviously, alhamdulillah, we're all lowering our gaze and we're not looking out of respect. And by the way, even out of respect, the Himba, you don't stare at the women, yeah? Even though they're not covering their tops, you don't actually stare at them. So we go to the chief, the man, and we say, thank you, chief, you know, allowing us to come. That we really appreciate it. And they're like, thank you for coming, because you promised us that you guys would come and you actually made it, yeah? Wow. Shows you how important it is to stick to your promises, you know, as best you can, because they see it.
Especially in these tribal societies.
Yeah, and they're looking at us as Muslims. So we're like, okay, so this was the introduction. We're like, we're going to come tomorrow for the whole day. Now we need to book the hotel, because we actually don't have a hotel, because it's another city and there's booking.com is like not there. It's very complicated. We go to hotel 1, closed, nothing. We go to another hotel. At the same time, when we're going to the turning of this hotel, so you can imagine 2 cars coming like this, yeah? There's a 2020 Range Rover, yeah? A Land Rover, yeah? With like LED lights. It's the newest one from England, but it's there, yeah? And they turn in and they start driving up ahead of us, yeah? We're like, what's going on? This is so weird. We're driving, we're like, no, this is a hotel. And so the normal hotels, like, you can't even stay there, yeah? They're like £5 a night or something, and it's like you won't have a fan, there's mosquitoes, it's like, you know,
hygiene,
strange people stay in these places as well, yeah? And it's like, so we have to get something reasonable. So we get to this hotel, it's like the only reasonable one there, and we get close and this car's ahead of us and it goes through, and then they let us in, yeah? And so they let like 1 car in at a time, but they have some sort of system. So that car turns around and comes back out, and we're like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, by the way, they've booked the whole hotel. They've just taken the whole hotel. We're like, what? They're like from the BBC or documentary makers in Namibia. And we're like, subhanAllah. We're like, you know what? They've come here for documentaries and stuff. We've come here for the dawah. Inshallah, we'll find a way. But we're like upset. We're like, oh my god, we can't go to this hotel. So like, we turn back our car and now we need to go and find other places. So I think we looked at 1 or 2. But alhamdulillah, one of them was reasonable. It wasn't amazing, but alhamdulillah, we could do with it, yeah? And so we just booked it. We're like, let's get it. Let's rest. Let's recuperate and get ready for the next day. So alhamdulillah, we got our place. And they even had halal, mashallah, which was amazing. So we rested that night, we ate our food, and then we got ready for the next day. So now the next day we go to this tribe, and we were all like very nervous. The sister's like scared us, yeah? She's like, be careful, don't ask them for the shahada. You know how it's like with tribes and stuff, you have to be very careful. So we arrive the next day, and we get close to the Himba, and we go there, and they all are gathered under a tree, and then Ashraf starts to give his dawah, and he starts to give them dawah, and it's translated. Then Adnan gives it, and he keeps it very simple. He says, you know, our God is one God. We believe in one God. So, and he gives them the example of chiefs. He said, if you have your chief, and then you have other people in between that chief, and if you know the chief, wouldn't you go to the chief and ask him for permission? Why would you go to other people, intermediaries? Wouldn't you like to talk directly? They were like, yeah, of course. And he asked them, and they were like, yes, chief, we go to the chief. So Adnan said, what about God? What about the one God? Wouldn't you want to worship him directly? Wouldn't you want to pray to him directly? And at the same time, bro, we had bought this cow for them as well. And the Himba people, the way they kill a cow, and I'm sure you won't know this as well, they tie a rope around the neck and its leg and pull it, so they suffocate the cow till it stops breathing and it dies like that. So they don't even cut the neck. That's how they kill the cow. Wow. Yeah, so we bought a cow for them as like a gift and stuff for going there. And we cut it with the Zabiha method. We said,
Adnan did
well, yeah, why do we do? And it was the first time Adnan did it. And Adnan explained to them why we cut the cow like this, what are the benefits, what we say, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. We don't want to have any pain. We want to make sure that the knife is sharp. And then we cut it and everything. And they were like, wow, they made it. We did it the Muslim method, right? They were very amazed. They were very happy. And so then we continued our talk, and they started to do their dances and stuff as well. So we had to be a bit careful, right? Obviously lowering our gaze and being careful. These people aren't wearing clothes. And then Adnan gives his talk. Ashraf gives his talk. And bro, they connect instantly. It's like the fitra opens up. Whether you're in Paraguay, or we're in Namibia, or we're in Philippines, people connect to the truth, I'm telling you. And the chief comes and he stops them. And he says, then this is their method. They don't actually follow what the chief says. They make their own decision, but the chief guides them basically. The chief says, if you think what these people are saying the truth and you agree with them, then feel free to accept it.
Wow.
So he interrupted. So bro, he had basically done the job for us, yeah. They all started getting up, bro, with their fingers and ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah, and almost every single one of them took shahada, bro.
How many were there?
I think 70 to 100 people in this tribe, and this is the first time I think in Namibia a tribe like this has accepted Islam that we know of. So now from this we show these videos to people, and obviously we fundraise and we do our missions, but we also hire someone now who will go to the remote areas and they go to the cities and stuff. So it's the best of both. Yeah.
You know, when I hear of this, I honestly start thinking to myself about ancient man, right? And you know, the sort of lifestyle that you're explaining here. These people are, Allah knows best when was the last time they received the message of Tawheed, right? And they seem to be really in touch with nature. They're not polluted by social media and, you know, these types of things. And look how easy it was for them to accept Islam. They didn't have like a million, you know, anthropic principle. I don't understand this. It's just, okay, God, yes, God's
Simple.
one. Yes, we should worship God. And it just seems so natural for these people.
Bro, and so that was Namibia. That was a very surreal experience, but it was an amazing mission.
And you know, I just want you to, you know, summarize it in this way. Did you feel this is something that if the Sahaba were alive, right, that they would be doing, that they would be just going to the most remotest of places and giving up, and you're going up and down these roads and you're going down these places and you just like, what do you think the Sahaba would be doing right now?
This is what they did. They would go across the countries, everything they could access, and give dawah. And bro, we have technology, we have planes, cars, and all these things. Alhamdulillah, we used it to go there and give this remote tribe. But I was saying this. Look how Allah brought us from London, from like a small charity, to grow to this level, mashallah, to take us all the way to Namibia, to this tribe, get to the country, then fly within the country, then get cars, then drive 4 hours, then get permission from the chief and go to the tribe and give them dawah, and they accepted Islam. And you know, I think, right, that the people who give to IRA on a monthly basis, yeah, £2.50 a week, bro. Like, you can't even buy a milkshake for that price. You go buy a Ferrero Rocher milkshake or a Kit Kat milkshake or like, you know, Mars bar milkshake. That's like £3.50. So those who give £2.50 a week, right, their money is literally, a small part of it is basically took us from London to Germany, from Germany to Windhoek, from Windhoek to Odangwa in the car to this tribe, give them that, and they accept Islam. To them raising their fingers, and then inshallah learning how to pray salah, praying it, their kids going inshallah to do their hifz and stuff, and becoming Muslim. And they have no idea. They have no idea. They're at work, they're in university, she's an auntie, is an uncle, you know, and they have no idea, but they're sharing in this reward. Imagine, Day of Judgment, how many people, and this is just Namibia, imagine all the other countries inshallah, because in Dawah Diaries we've just started, bro. How many countries are left? There's, I think, good 25 we have left. So this was an amazing country, mashallah. Namibia was a very amazing experience just before Ramadan, and you know, may Allah accept it and guide those people.
Ameen. And Jazakallah khair for sharing. This is the sort of things I want to talk to my children about.
Yeah, bro, honestly, stories from across the world about how people accept Islam. Amazing.